What's going on, guys? It's Luke from Madman Music and Artist, also known as Targett, and I'm here today with Open Mic UK to talk about what does a music producer do and how can you become one. And being a music producer myself, I thought, why not run through some questions and I can answer them, and I can look at some of my own experiences and some of my thoughts on the questions. So hopefully you find today's video useful. Go ahead and thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel if you like what you find here today, and we will deliver more of this to you. Okay, so what does it mean to be a music producer? It can mean a bunch of things depending who you are, what you do. But generally, a music producer, if I was to generalize it, is somebody who is quite pivotal in an artist's career. We would look at music artists and we help develop them from the early stages of their career right through to their more developed stages. That'll be finished songs. That'll be if they're going off on world tours. We aid them through that journey, or certainly through a part of their journey. And that is our relationship with artists as producers. There are other producers who exclusively create music, such as beats, that they then sell on to other people as well. And generally, to be a music producer means that you just enjoy making music. For me, I enjoyed being a music producer because I wanted a way to create recordings of the songs that I wrote. And rather than finding someone to record them for me, I thought, why not just learn to do it myself? And so here I am. What is the role of a music producer? A music producer is like the project manager. They are the creative director of a session with an artist. So if an artist brings in a song to me, it is my job to almost see what their vision is, take note of what they are about, and help them get their song from A all the way to Z, right through to the finished product, even assisting with how they release the songs, how they can approach labels, things like that. Our goal is to bring the best out in an artist, bring the best out in the song. Sometimes we have to make tough decisions as to whether we keep a musical idea, but generally our minds are always focused, our eyes are always set on what's best for the song. Being a music producer also doesn't just mean producing music and that's that. A music producer can be quite versatile. They are seen as the consultant, the mixing engineer, the recording engineer, the mastering engineer, and also they help with arrangement and songwriting as well. That's certainly what I do as a music producer. I like to kind of stick my hands in and get involved with the whole creative process, but not to the detriment of the song, hopefully. What does a music producer do on a day-to-day basis? This generally varies day to day, but a lot of the time you'll find the producer working on the recordings of the songs, trying to get them up to be the best that they can be, working with different artists. They'll be having meetings and discussions with them, including their labels and managers. Producers day to day will be networking, showcasing their portfolio, building relationships. There's a lot that goes into being a music producer. It's great fun and every day is varied, but it's very hard to pinpoint what we do day to day as an exact, because like I say, it does change all the time. My day can vary from working with an artist, developing an idea, to mixing a record, to consulting an artist on their marketing. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do. But again, we do it because we love it and we enjoy it. So we don't mind taking on all the extra responsibility. Do music producers make beats? Pretty much, yeah. Beats are typically associated with hip hop. So you would get a rapper, approach a producer, say, oh, do you have any beats or anything like that? And they would then create beats for them to spit a 16 bar over. But not all producers classify their work as beats. So if you're creating a pop track or an orchestral track, you wouldn't call that making a beat. But the process is still the same. You're sitting down and creating a piece of music. So beats are typically something that are affiliated with the hip hop genre, but making a beat is just sitting down and making music, which applies across the board as a producer. Who would a music producer work with? Anyone who they have good chemistry with. If the artist is hardworking and their visions align with what the producer might see for them and vice versa, then that can be a pretty good working relationship. This can apply for single artists, duos, bands, voiceovers, podcasts, okay, anything. We can go ahead and work with anyone in any scenario. I've done a whole bunch of podcasts, I've done ebooks, I've done commentary on film, I've done music with artists of all different genres, from R&B, hip hop, metal, pop. So most producers will work with anyone, providing that there is a good chemistry there to begin with, and there's a lot of transparency with communication. A music producer will also work with a recording studio, for example. The producer would offer their services to the recording studio so that they can then put them in touch with other artists as well. Music producers also liaise with management and labels, especially if it's around a particular artist. Again, it's all about communication. Do I need a music producer? AKA, do you need a music producer? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on what your vision is. If you're struggling to achieve everything that you envision, then you might need some assistance along the way. A music producer is a great person to bring in because not only will they just make the song and make the music, they will help you and discuss your ideas with you and help you to collate and arrange your thoughts in a way that benefit you, the team that you work with, and hopefully move you closer to your visions. So if you're struggling with trying to achieve that on your own, bringing in a producer would be a really great way to help overcome that and make some good moves. How can I be a music producer? Let's say you're really interested in wanting to be a music producer. It comes down to mastery, to your skill set. Are you prolific and proficient in the skills that you can offer somebody? As a music producer, I went through many years of working for free, building up my portfolio, working with different artists, allowing them to record with me. I did all this so that I could develop my skill set, become better at it, and then eventually I became more known for my productions. Generally, you just need consistency, a good knowledge and understanding of the area, and to keep honing in on your craft and keep building your confidence in those areas. How do I become a successful music producer? All right. The word successful or success is funny. It's not funny, it's interesting because it can be measured in so many different ways. But let's, for argument's sake, say that your version of success is making a living from your music or as a producer. To become a successful music producer, you need a good network of people. You need to be building relationships and understand how you were seen in their eyes and why they would approach you for music. This generally comes down to having a great portfolio, being a kind, genuine person, providing a lot of value, support, and maybe even developing one-to-one relationships with artists and bands and working with them exclusively to help take them to the next level. If you can be credited to a band's or an artist's success, that's going to bring a lot of people your way because they're going to want to work with you because they've seen you succeed with another band or artist. Generally, word gets out and locally there'll be a lot more people wanting to come and work with you. In my experience, I'm in a position where I never have to ask or promote any work. I've been working in the industry long enough that I know people who would come to me for certain things. And I've been working with the same people for a few years now, helping to build their career and further it along. I never see my sessions as just one-offs. I see them as a journey from here right till, the very last breath. Is being a music producer hard? Yeah, I think so. It's weird because personally for me, I've been doing it for so long, it comes naturally and very easily. However, I've spent years reading, learning, practicing, building and honing in on my craft. And the likelihood is if you want to get yourself up to that level of professionalism, it's going to take you a few years because you're always going to learn, you're going to discover new things. And so I would say on a time sense, it's hard because, we live in a world of we want stuff now. So it can be hard to come to terms with that. But generally, being a music producer, once you know it, it doesn't feel hard if you enjoy it. I think that's the key thing. For me, because I personally enjoyed it so much, it wasn't hard for me to sit down and make songs. Still isn't, I love sitting down and making songs. It doesn't feel like effort to me. So it is hard, but if you enjoy it, you kind of forget that it's hard. What are the skills needed being a music producer? Well, there's the very obvious ones such as producing, songwriting, mixing, engineering. But the often overlooked skills of being a music producer are communication, effectively building relationships, having a great network. These are often overlooked because they're not the fun, practical ones. But as a producer, it pays to be transparent and to be able to effectively communicate with the people that you work with. I've seen so many cases where people haven't been able to communicate with their artists effectively, and it's led them down a very dark, twisty path that hasn't ended very well for either producer or artist. Fortunately, I'm in a position where I've learned my people skills. I've learned how to address and speak to people. I've learned to understand them, and that's really what I can credit a lot of my success to, and skills in bringing in work as well, is generally just being a good person. It almost creates a kind of loyalty that people can't ignore. So yeah, as well as the obvious ones, definitely look at your people skills as well. Music producers, apps and softwares. I personally use Logic Pro X, always have done. I've dabbled in Ableton and Pro Tools. I don't find them as effective for me personally, but I know so many people who make great music in these different DAWs. Ultimately, it's about finding something that works for you, especially when it comes to software. And then generally, once you have a staple software that you create your songs in, you then build on that by using plugins and using virtual instruments. You might buy some certain software that you can use for your productions. And to run this software, you ideally need a good home studio setup, a good home system. I've already done a video on this, but you just need a good computer, a microphone, an audio interface, and just a passion for it without trying to sound too cheesy. Do producers get signed to record labels? Yes, they do. They get publishing deals, they get record deals, they can get almost anything an artist can get. However, the terms and conditions and what's entailed will be a little bit different. Producers tend to sit in the back. They're not usually the front of the product, or they're not usually at the front of the campaign. They usually sit in the back. Take Billie Eilish. She's the main artist, but her brother Phineas is the producer. With Billie Eilish, he sits in the back. His face isn't at the front of it. That's Billie's face. If you're a producer looking for that, front of house fame, then you might want to look at being more an artist than, say, a producer. Because as producers, it's our job to look at what the artist wants and deliver what they want. We don't just want to put our stamp on it. My goal is to not have the song sound like me. I don't want anyone to listen to the song and go, oh, that sounds like Luke did that. I want them to listen to it and go, that is that artist, and that's my goal. If they can do that, that means I've done my job well. Can you make money producing music? Yeah, you can. You can get paid by time-based services, such as people paying for productions or for sessions in your studio. And you can get paid via royalties. These royalties account for a lot of producers' wages. If you have a song that is a big hit song, that can generate a lot of royalties for the people involved, including the producer. Typically, the royalties for producers, they'll take a 5 or 6% producer royalty on the overall master of the track, usually because they've had a hand in creating the master version of the track. If the producers also compose the song, they'll get composition credits as well. What is a music producer salary? Varies year on year. Royalties are inconsistent. They're not the same. Sessions can be inconsistent and are not the same. It really varies. But you can make a comfortable salary. You can make a lot of money. You can make a medium amount of money. There's so many variables. All I know is you can make a salary. Is music production a good career? Yes, if you are invested in the craft and you love it. If you love it, you don't want to ignore what you love. I think it's so important to make sure that you nail that. For me, it's been an amazing career, and I'm only just at the beginning of it. I wake up every day and love doing what I do. And so I would want that for anyone else working. If you have a passion for it in music, as a producer, as an artist, then do it. I honestly urge you. I think it's a great career. And despite the myths, I'm going to debunk it. There's a lot more money in music than you might think. So long as you're smart about it and you're willing to put in some time and build up your craft, you can make it a sustainable career for sure. Do you need a degree to be a music producer? Nope, I do not have a degree in music production. I do have a degree in popular music performance, so I can show you how to perform, but I've never taken any formal education in music production. I just learned it all on the side. What is the job outlook for music producers? Promising, depending on your mindset. Job outlooks being a music producer is not like a traditional job. You don't go through job sites and apply. There is no company that you submit your CV to. Working in music and the outlook for music production jobs all comes down to your network, who you know, and your experience. This is how I've established most of my jobs. I have not touched my CV in years. I probably won't for the rest of my life. I probably won't touch it because in music, as a music producer, it comes down to what the final product looks and sounds like. If it sounds good and it comes from you, that is your CV. Your portfolio is your CV in a way. So yeah, no, there's no traditional application job processes in music production. It is a case of really actually building it yourself and building your own universe. So look, I hope that helps. As a music producer, I hope I answered some of those questions and cleared up a few things, debunked a couple of myths, and maybe given you a taste of what it might be like to be a producer. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.